your temperament assessment test. So I'm going to make this really simple and easy. It's different doing it online as opposed to in person. There's pros and cons. The benefit of you being able to do this online is that you have the questions on the screen, um, and you can take your time. So I'm going to read right through them, but at any time you can pause the video, read the question. But I would advise you, don't spend too much time when you answer the question. A lot of times people will hear the question, and the way that they answer it is they select the answer of the type of character that they want to have or that they desire to have. And what I challenge you to do is answer the questions that are given with the way that you currently are, the way that you are right now, not the way you used to be, not the way you want to in the future handle situations, but the way that describes you of who you are today. The reason you want to have the most accurate answer is because your results will be that much more accurate. And this is such a powerful test and study. My wife have been doing this temperament study for at least the last 3 years. We've seen breakthrough of leadership. We started doing this test among our leadership team to help strengthen the communication from leader to leader. And then we did it for the marriage group, where husband and wife communication. And we began to see so much breakthrough, healing, improvement take place in the way that our leaders communicated, in the way that the married couple started communicating. There was so much of God moving in our husband and wife communication, and it was so powerful. Then last year, for the first time, we did for the parents to children. We also have the ability for this to be practiced from parent to child. So again, it just helps you to understand not only yourself but other people. And as you begin to grow in your temperament, not only do you improve the way you talk to people, but it also helps you to improve the way you understand other people, because the whole purpose of this temperaments is to understand the way people are wired. There's extroverts and introverts. There's task-oriented people, and then there are people-oriented people. And the beautiful thing is that God wired each of us uniquely and individually, but when we are understanding of which temperament style we have, it allows you to have a lot more understanding. And if you think of the opposite of understanding, there's misunderstanding. I think one of the most frustrating things that I've encountered as a pastor or a husband or even a father is being misunderstood, because I know that my intentions are pure, but it can be misunderstood, and then people begin to say other things, or they misinterpret what I was transmitting across to them. And this has helped me in pastoring, in husband, in fathering, to have a more clear understanding the way I communicate to different temperaments as I recognize them in people. Okay, so with that being said, real quick, if you have this video, more than likely you've received the questionnaire, which you either have an email form. I would recommend you print it out, and if you print it out, you'll have 2 sheets. So you'll have sheet number 1 and then sheet number 2. Now it's gonna look like this when I had to kind of modify this. All right, let me try to get the camera to focus in on it. Okay, so it's one long questionnaire from 1 through 40. Let me get it in view. All right, it's a little complicated. Y'all bear with me. Now that arrow, that's the far right side of your assessment questionnaire. That's where you want to write your answers. So for question number 1, for instance, you would, I would ask you the multiple choice question, and then you would put your answer right here, A, B, C, or D. And you would do that all the way down, We have 40 questions we're going to go through. Okay. I'll explain what you do after that. So let's do one step at a time. So your first step is on your questionnaire. As we go through these multiple choice questions, you write your letter answer on the far right side of that paper. And then I'll give you the instructions of what to do with that afterwards. I've even had people fold this all the way over so that the only thing they're looking at is that line right there. Okay, whatever you got to do, just put your answers. Don't circle the answers yet. Write your answer all the way on the right hand side, and then I'll explain what we're going to do at the end of the questionnaire, so you know how to properly determine your temperament. Okay, with that being said, let's get into it here right now. I'm gonna pull up the questionnaire, and let's see if we can get this going here. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to get right into it because, again, you can either pause it, rewind it, or however is going to be more easier for you. I'll read through them as we go. Again, I'm always available if you need to reach out to me, message me, call me. And if you have any questions about this test, if you don't understand a word, you can Google it. There are going to be some words that even I didn't understand, and I had to Google it, and I learned a new word. And I knew a word I was, or I knew the word that I wasn't. Okay, so number one. So for the first line on your questionnaire, number one, all the way across, you're going to either answer A, B, C, or D. So I'll read from the top. For the following question, choose the one description you most naturally identify with. Ask yourself, am I someone who is A, ready to jump into new tasks, energized by challenges, B, agreeable, easy to get along with, C, sensitive to the emotions of others, or D, excitable, passionate, quick to say yes? Okay, so as you hear these or read these answers on the screen, which one applies most to you? Who are you most likely out of these four right here? Okay, now again, don't think too hard into it. If you're somebody who already jumps into new tasks, then choose A. If you're somebody who's agreeable, you get along pretty much for the most part, choose B. If you're sensitive to the emotions of others, choose C. If you're excitable, if you're passionate, and you're quick to say yes, then you choose D. Now again, not that you want to be one of these later because you're not that right now, or not that you used to be one of these but you're no longer that right now. Choose who you are right now and go with that answer. All right, we're going to get moving now. Number two, am I someone who is A, motivated to achieve goals, eager to be the leader, B, energetic, lively, exhibits love and affection openly, C, logical, gathers facts and data, likes lists, D, flexible, able to adjust to new conditions, calm in the midst of chaos? All right. Number three, am I someone who is A, avoids conflict and drama, level-headed, B, fun to be around, a good storyteller with a sense of humor, C, self-motivated, usually right, D, careful, thoughtful, doesn't rush into things? Number four, am I someone who is A, upbeat, always sees the best in people and situations, B, detail-oriented, orderly, tidy, C, confident and assertive with my opinions, or D, cooperative, open to the needs and ideas of others? Number five, am I someone who is A, determined problem solver, finds a way to get it done, B, playful, spontaneous, lives in the moment, C, considerate, kind, polite, D, serious, avoids being impulsive or flashy? Number six, am I someone who is A, friendly, outgoing, talkative, B, efficient and effective with my time and effort, C, relaxed, hard to provoke or annoy, or D, precise, thorough, has very high standards? All right. Number seven, am I someone who is A, not confident in social situations, B, can be quick-tempered, C, struggles to make decisions quickly, D, can dominate conversations? Number eight, am I someone who is unafraid to disagree with others, bossy, B, uncomfortable with solitude, afraid of missing out, C, rarely sets goals for myself, unclear on purpose or direction, D, sometimes feels isolated, too introspective? All right, number nine, Am I someone who is A, can be overbearing, prefers to be in control, B, unsure of myself, reluctant to jump into conversations or activities, C, seeks diversions from tasks, can waste time or daydream, D, prone to feeling sad or gloomy, gets hung up on bad news. Number 10, am I someone who is A, persuades others to do things my way, thinks the ends justifies the means, B, often exaggerates stories, compulsive talker, C, uses sarcasm or the silent treatment when upset, D, struggles to express enthusiasm. Number 11, am I someone who is A, no sense of urgency, resents being pushed, B, skeptical, sees obstacles, thinks about the worst case scenario, C, fickle, forgetful, makes excuses, repeats stories, D, reluctant to admit mistakes or say I'm sorry, rarely compliments others. I know it's funny because you're probably realizing some of these that you are, or you know somebody who are these descriptions. 12, am I someone who is A, struggles with follow through, especially when things stop being fun, B, slow to get moving, a procrastinator, C, dislikes tears and emotions in others, can be unsympathetic, D, hard to please, can be critical. Number 13. Now these switch up. Okay, so at this point, we're getting into a new bracket of questions. So for the following question, choose the one description that you most naturally identify with. So choose the one statement that best represents you. Now, you're even going to come to some questions that are all negatives. Now, here's the thing. In some way, we have flaws. So whichever negative applies in a group of negatives, choose that negative that relates to you the most. Okay, but let's get through it. So 13A, I like to talk through my decisions. I like to talk through my decisions out loud with others. B, I am decisive and my decisions are usually right. C, I want all the information before I make a decision. D, I sometimes just want someone else to make the decision for me. Okay, choose the one statement that best represents you. 14, am I A, I like knowing a little bit about a lot of things and a lot about the things that really interest me. B, I like to stick to the schedule. C, I like accomplishing things and feeling productive. D, I like coming up with the creative ideas people will enjoy. All right, number 15, I tend to notice imperfections and mistakes. B, I tend to forget or disregard things I'm not interested in. C, I tend to not even think of bad or sad things. D, I tend not to show my emotions. Number 16, A, I frequently tell stories about my personal experiences. B, I consider every thought and detail before communicating. C, I cut to the chase in conversations. I don't need every last detail. D, I hesitate to speak up and advocate for myself when I disagree with the group. Number 17, A, I want the freedom to do projects in my own time frame. B, I want time to process my thoughts and answers so I know they're correct. C, I want to know the why behind a project so I know it's worth my time. D, I want variety and spontaneity with projects. Number 18. All right. A, I'm good at delegating to others. B, I'm good at teaching others. C, I'm good at inspiring others. Or D, I'm good at caring for others. Now, these are all positives. So again, whichever one of these you are the most. 19. A, I get stressed when I feel like I'm not liked. B, I get stressed when I feel like I'm not understood. C, I get stressed when I feel like I'm not in control. And D, I get stressed when I feel like I'm being pulled into conflict. So again, these are all negative in a sense because we all do get stressed. So out of these four, which one would give you the most stress? 20. Okay, so again, now the questions are changing to another bracket. So these ones, choose the one phrase you are most likely to either say in your head or out loud. Okay. A, who else is going to be there? B, what will we be doing? C, do I have to go? D, you go. I have better things to do. 21. A, are you sure that's safe? B, hurry up, we're late. C, that sounds like fun. D, I'm good with whatever. 22. A, it's done, I took care of it. B, I'll do it if someone will do it with me. C, I've been giving it some thought. D, no worries, it will all work out. 23. No thanks, I'll just watch. B, I didn't mean it that way. C, I'd be happy to help. D, I'm not sure I trust them. 24. A, I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry. B, I don't really care. You decide. C, that won't work. I've already planned to. And then D, just give me the bottom line. Okay, 25. So we're switching, I believe, for the last time. This one says, choose the one word or phrase of the four options that best describes you. If you get stuck, just pick the best option available. Okay. So, and again, if you got to pause this, go and Google some of these words, go for it. I try to put in parentheses some of the explanations. 25. A, easygoing, ambitious. I'm sorry. B, ambitious. C, energetic. D, analytical. Someone who is logical in the reasoning. Number 26. A, enthusiastic. B, fearless. C, agreeable. Or D, empathetic, meaning that you understand others' feelings. Number 27. A, cautious. B, capable. C, calm. D, charming. Number 28. A, positive. B, organized. C, assertive, another word for confident. Or D, content. Okay, 29. A, resourceful. B, considerate. C, lighthearted. So this means you're like amusing, you're cheerful. And D, reserved. 30. A, productive. B, patient. C, detail oriented. That means you focus on the details. Or D, people oriented. That means you're more focused on people opposed to details. All right. 31. Pessimistic. That means negative. B, bossy. C, indifferent. That means you're just emotionless. D, distractible. 32. A, demanding. B, detached. C, naive. D, moody. All right, 33. A, self-centered. B, sluggish. C, scatterbrained. That means your thoughts are just everywhere. And then D, suspicious. 34. A, undisciplined. B, unmotivated. C, unsympathetic. And D, unforgiving. Whichever one of these applies to you the most. 35. A, indecisive. You're hard to make a decision. B, dramatic. C, impatient. D, insecure. 36. Blunt. No filter. B, judgmental. C, apathetic. That means you're just uninterested. And then D, restless. All right, 37. A, driven. B, imaginative. C, compassionate. D, even keeled. That means you're consistent in what you do. All right, 38. A, well balanced. B, enjoys working hard. C, musical or artistic. D, turns crisis into comedy. 39. A, methodical, B, loud laugh, C, quiet but witty, D, brave. 40. A, patient leader, B, curious, C, delegates well, D, deep and thoughtful. Amen, y'all. We made it. Okay, so that's the test right there. And again, hopefully, like, you didn't just let it play straight through and try to answer them that fast. You can stop and go back and reread the questionnaire. So by this time, you should have been able to. Let me turn on this light to see if it makes it easier. I just hate it because it's super bright. But for the sake of the questionnaire, all right, come on, focus. Okay. Our camera's weak. Okay. So you should have answered all the way down here. Okay. All your 40 answers. Now, what you want to do is go back to question number 1. So if you answered B, you would circle B. Number 2, if you answered A, you would circle A. Okay. And you go all the way down each line and circle for each number question what your response was. Okay. After you do that, you start with this first column and you go down and you count how many answers you circled and you type the total number down there. You do the same thing for the second column. You count how many responses. Trying to fit my finger. And then you put the total down there. Same for this column. And then same for that column. Okay, now, when you get to the end. Oh, there we go. Now it's all clear. All right. When you get to the end and you have your totals, if you answered, whichever one you answered most in is the temperament that is most likely your temperament. So if your first column was the most, your color is yellow. And you are a sanguine, okay? If you answered most in the second column, you are a red, and you are a choleric temperament. I didn't have a blue highlighter, so I couldn't put blue right here. But if your third column was your highest score, then you are blue, which is melancholic. And then if you've answered most in this fourth column right here, your color is green. You are phlegmatic, okay? So real quick, I'll give you a quick description, and then that'll be it, y'all. That's the test. So as we go through this series, I'll be explaining more on each of your temperaments, but I'll give you a little bit so you kind of understand the temperament that you have. So sanguines, the language they speak is people and fun. That's yellow. Cholerics, the language they speak is power and control. Their color is red. Melancholics speak the language of order and perfection. Their color is blue. And then phlegmatics speak the color of calm and harmony, and their color is green. Okay. So let me see if I have a little bit more I can give you right now. So if you're yellow or green, you're a people-oriented temperament. So usually yellows and greens are more focused on people. If you're red or blue, choleric or melancholic, you are more of a task-oriented person. You're usually focused more on the tasks, okay? So the ones that are people-oriented usually focus more on developing relationships with other people. And those that are task-oriented are usually more focused on accomplishing things. Now, if you are yellow or red, you are an extrovert, okay? Extroverts think out loud. They talk before thinking. If you are a green or a blue, you are an introvert, okay? Usually people get this understanding like introverts are all shy or that they're, they don't like to be around people. It's not necessarily true. The thing about introverts is that they think before they speak. They think quietly as opposed to extroverts who think loudly. I'm an extrovert, so I usually I'm loud. I think out loud. Okay, I speak before I think, and that has gotten me in trouble in the past. But I've learned to control that, being a pastor and understanding my temperament. So, with that being said, we're 25 minutes in as far as the recording goes, but we hope that you come faithful to our life group every Tuesday night at 7. I'm going to do my best to send out curriculum, but I challenge you to come in person. You get so much more out of it when you're either in person or tuned in live, so that you can ask questions and get more out of this. But we're praying for your marriage, and we're believing for your parenting, and we're believing as a leader that you would understand your wiring in your own temperament, and that you learn to develop an understanding for the wiring of either those that you work with as a leader, your spouse in marriage, your children in family. And we just believe that God is going to break down barriers in communication, that breakthroughs will take place within your intimacy, your relationships, and your ministry that you are called to serve in. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in.